episode of Behind the Scenes. As you can tell, we've got a very infamous character for today's episode on the table right now. But before we get into that, if you haven't watched our last video that we did here on the channel, we did Press Start, an episode of Press Start. We played Escape the Backrooms, which for us was 2 weeks ago. We have been, I have been sick. Dawson has been busy with stuff.
I've been in California.
He's been in California.
And Houston.
And every city imaginable.
Texas, Nevada, Colorado, Georgia.
Just name every city out there. But if y'all want to go watch the last video that we did, it'll be in the top of this video. Yeah, we would have done this episode last week, but we were pretty busy, and I was also sick, so we weren't able to actually make this video until now. But go check it out. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
But today is another episode of Behind the Scenes. The wheel decided the fate of what was going to be next here on the channel, and it was the costume series.
Yep.
Now, if you want to check out the last episode of Behind the Scenes, the very first episode of Behind the Scenes, we showed off our original character, the Red Sentinel, and talked about his character and all that stuff. We even gave him a name on camera. Yeah, and so if you want to check that out, it'll be at the top of the video as well. As you can tell, today's episode is going to be about the Wolverine.
Yay!
Which we haven't done anything with the Wolverine since 2018, which is ages ago, 7 years ago, I believe, when we did the Wolverine film, which we'll get to talk about both films that we did with the Wolverine at the end of this video. We've got a lot of, we've done 2 things with the Wolverine. We have ideas with the Wolverine in it. And we've also, stick around until the end of the episode to find out a new series that'll be coming to the Weather News Times on channel in the future. Because now we have 8 series. And we're going to stop with 8 because we're trying to get an even number now that we have a wheel. Yeah, so it is going to be 8 series, and we'll talk about that series at the end of the episode, which you might get to see Wolverine in more of, if the wheel decides to be nice or not.
Yeah.
You never know.
We'll tell you about it later.
We'll tell you about it later. But we've got the Wolverine, Logan, James Howlett, himself. Dawson started playing the Wolverine in the Wolverine vs. Captain America back in 2017. And that was a very long time ago. That was when we started doing photo shoots for videos. It was in 2017. And in a few minutes, Dawson will show all the different aspects of the suit for the Wolverine. And he'll get to talk to you more about that as well. We also took pictures and did some edits with the suit. Y'all get to see those as well. I know this is one of Dawson's favorite characters.
Yeah.
Which the original Wolverine suit, if you go way back on YouTube, you will see the original suit, which was just a mask. It was not a suit or anything. It was just the mask that Dawson had. And good luck finding that one. We know where it is, but y'all won't know where it is. There's a video out there with a segment in it where Dawson is wearing the mask back 10 years ago, I believe. But talk about what made you want to redo another Wolverine outfit.
I've done a lot of different Wolverine outfits, a lot of them over the years. There's that one, like he was talking about, there's the mask. We did...
there was an orange one,
which was the
Captain America one.
Wolverine vs. Captain America, which was the orange one, and I based that one kind of off of X-Men Evolution a little bit.
You were like feral in that one. You screamed it, yeah.
There was another Wolverine suit that I got that's actually on camera, which was the Waiting Rooms video.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. So 3 of them.
That we did. And like those was like the earlier years of cosplaying, so I tried to put what I had and did and what I thought looked cool and whatnot. And then I didn't touch Wolverine for a long time, and then I made a Wolverine outfit and I made it for actually TikTok, and I made a couple of TikToks with it. It was more fabric one, and I made its own mask and everything like that. That was going to be something that we were going to use in a video. And then I didn't touch Wolverine again for a while. And then I did the Wolverine suit that's from Deadpool and Wolverine, the blue and yellow one. And I did that take on it. And I had it, and I really liked it, and I thought it was really cool. And it got messed up, and it was kind of a bummer for me. And I'm like, whatever. So I stopped talking about it again. But one look that I've always loved, and out of all of the Wolverine suits, is I always loved the brown and yellow suit. I don't know why, but I just always loved it. I thought it was classic. It looks good, and it fits Wolverine because it's like the rest of the X-Men are yellow and blue and like yellow and black and whatnot. I just thought it looked cool that Wolverine was yellow and brown. Because it kind of fit it because it was a Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I always wanted that look. Well, then I finally got a chance to be able to get and work on a really good suit that was the brown and yellow suit, and I got the chance to do it, and I did it. And the suit's right over there.
Yeah, and you'll get to see it later in the episode.
But so I put into that, and I worked on it, and I really fell in love with the suit. It looks great, and I have no need to upgrade him again unless I just get bored. And I'm like, maybe in the future I do a blue and yellow one, just because that's another classic one. But as of right now, I'm really happy with the brown and yellow one. But yeah, so
you also can't forget the Logan drunk outfit as a costume as well for Logan, because that film, which we'll go in detail with, and we might react to it on the show in the future, because we will eventually get to every single thing that we have made, and we will have watched and reacted to all of them at some point.
Yes.
Whether it be once or twice. Hopefully just once, because that would kind of be weird. But yeah, there was the Logan Howlett drunk guy from the Wolverine. That was the last thing we did with the Wolverine.
Yep.
And we'll go in more depth with more behind the scenes about that film. It was one of the biggest films we did at the time, and I think it still is one of the biggest films that we've done, production and people wise, and how long it took to make it as well. But yeah, so in a few minutes, Dawson is going to show every aspect of the suit for y'all. Y'all get to see pictures that we took last week, and edits that Dawson has made with the stuff that we shot last week. And it'll be pretty fun. That's going to be today's episode of Behind the Scenes. So without any further ado, we're going to go right in to Dawson explaining to you what is all in the Wolverine costume.
So here we are. We're not in the little corner thing. We just kind of set up differently. But like how I normally do, I usually work from the bottom and work my way up. So to start off, it's going to be these boots. These are Danners. These are a tactical boot, very lightweight. It's like a running shoe, but very, very comfortable boot. But it's just a tactical boot that you tie up, and it's very slim fitting, and it does the job. But that goes over them to fit them is I got these spats. It goes over the boot. Just to kind of give you an idea, it's like that. So these spats are actually Captain America spats. It goes with the Captain America costume, and you actually saw these exact same ones in the Captain America costume video that was however long ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
I think.
But I just thought these would work because they're black and the straps on them are brown, so it has like the contrast of like the 3 stripes that are brown, and they're just these leather straps that zip up on the side, and it goes up the leg, and they fit for it. So there's that. Actually, just gotta go down the line right here. Kind of out of order, but it's okay. Next, I'm going to talk about is the belt. So this belt is actually also a Captain America belt. I got Velcro on the inside to where it goes on and it stays in the exact same place. It Velcros on the back, that tightens it up, and it's got these nice little pouches and whatnot. So those are nice. I actually at some point need to put like foam blocks in them to make them full, to where it looks like they're full. So in the front, there's like this little thing of Velcro on it. I actually did it with this belt buckle and the Captain America belt buckle, where I took the buckle off and I put a Velcro strap here to where I can actually exchange the belts or the belt buckles. But I got this, which is just a X-Men belt buckle, and then it just Velcros on, and then now you got a Wolverine belt. Or you can take that off and put the Captain America one on, and then you got a Captain America belt. But yeah, so do that. It's kind of cool, and it's just brown and khaki, so it kind of fits with the scheme of it. Gloves. So the suit itself that I'm about to show you here in a minute, and then the gloves that come with the suit come from a company called White Sheep Leather. You actually heard me talk about them before on the Patriot costume that I did a while back. It's the same company, same brand, but yeah. So these gloves, very nice. They got a textured pattern on them to where it looks very more realistic. But with these gloves came with these like fabric claw inputs, but then I ordered these 3D printed ones online, and then I attached them to the glove to give it the nice comic book and the realistic glove style where it has the little imports that the claws come out of. But yeah, it's just these half up gloves that are brown with the yellow pattern on it, which is different. Usually the gloves are all brown, but I actually like that it has yellow on the gloves too. It looks cool. So this suit actually comes with a balaclava too. It goes up, and I wear. It's got this nice it's got the same texture on it, and it's got a pattern on it to where it just kind of feels with it. But kind of goes up. I know usually the balaclava is yellow because it fits with the suit, but with the brown one, the brown's down the middle, but the mask is still yellow. So the balaclava is brown, and then the mask comes over, and it has like the yellow pattern on top of it. So it fits, but yeah, it's actually really comfortable, and it's very stretchy. Same thing with the rest of the suit, but so the suit, I'll show you it in one big piece really quick. So this is the suit. Ta-da! So, yep, brown and yellow, which is amazing. But this suit is just like the Patriot suit that we did. It comes in 3 different pieces. One of the pieces is the vests. So on the vest, it's got the nice X-Men symbols on the collar. It zips up the back. But, yeah, it's brown and yellow. I dirtied it up and I weathered it and made it look cool, but there's the vest, and it's got this nice mesh pattern on the inside, so it's a little bit breathable. A little bit, not a whole lot. And then you got the jumpsuit part. This is 2 pieces, because it zips down the middle here, but it also zips all the way around, so you can actually take this apart, but I just leave it together and slide it in and out like a jumpsuit. But I dirtied it up. The shoulders has the X-Men symbol on it, and then it's got the 3 things on the side. The arms zip up and down to where you can go in and out of it. Same thing with the legs. They zip up and down so you can slide in and out of it really easily. And it's got these nice knee pad area, which is comfortable. The suit is actually very, very comfortable. Just like the Iron Patriot, or not the Iron Patriot, but the Patriot. The Patriot suit is really comfortable. I had this dirtied up and I got it all worked out. Of course, this middle section, if you can tell, it's not dirtied because there's no reason for me to dirty it because the vest goes on top of it. So there's no reason for that. But and then of course the mask. So this mask is 3D printed on the inside, so it holds the shape of the look of it. But to where it looks like a fabric mask, I actually put the yellow fabric on top of it to where it looks like a fabric piece. But if I like, lot of color line. And then you slide the mask on. So, kind of like what I was talking about, it's brown. Of course, the neck piece is brown, but it comes up, and then that's whenever the yellow fabric starts, and it goes into it. And the yellow fabric fits the same yellow fabric that's on that, so it's the same color. But, yeah, so I did that to where it has it, because that's the whole thing with Wolverine, is it's an actual fabric mask, like in the comics and everything like that. But of course, with fabric, you can't really get it to be like this and like this shape where it stays like that all the time. So I got a 3D printed mask where it stays the shape, and then I painted it, and then I put the fabric on there to where it looks like a fabric mask, but it's actually hard, and that was really loud. But so yeah. And then pretty much the last thing is the claws. So I had, I know y'all have probably seen these claws before when we did the Wolverine film. The first time we did Wolverine, I made claws that was into the gloves, and that was just what I had at the time. Trace is shaking his head. When we did the Wolverine, I actually had these claws, but it's a different set of claws. I had ones that are not like this. They're really like bright silver. But then I learned a trick with graphite powder, and I got those claws, and then I painted them gloss black, and then I put graphite powder and merged it in there to where it looks actually like the chrome claws. They're like actual metal coming out. But nothing really special about those other than they're just the same claws that you can buy off of Amazon, and then I just painted them and made them look like metal. But that's pretty much the suit. I think overall cost of this suit, because of white sheep leather, they're kind of expensive, but it's very good quality. The suit itself was, I think, $175, something like that. These claws, you can get them off Amazon. They're like $15. The gloves came with the suit. The 3D printed mask is like $75. I have no idea. I can't remember the belt and spats off of the Captain America thing, but if I remember correctly, the belt. You can look it up. You can get it off Amazon or eBay, mostly eBay, but you can get a Captain America belt off of eBay for like $30. The spats, I think were like $50 with the boots that came with Captain America. And then Danners, well, I had those for a long time whenever I worked for the sheriff's office and everything, but if I remember correctly, whenever I got the Danners and I used to wear them, they were almost like $200, but those are boots. They're like actual boots. So, but if you want to go a more cheaper route, you can go on Amazon and look up black tactical boots, and you can get a pair of black tactical boots for like $20, $20 to $30. So, but yeah, that is the new improved Wolverine that is the now yellow and brown, which is my favorite look of it, and it's going to be the next look for Wolverine for filming and doing short films and whatnot. But that's pretty much me talking about it. So now you get to see pictures and videos.
It's the Wolverine!
we've jumped into the future. Now it's the week after.
Yes.
Yeah. But that was the Dawson's Wolverine suit. We talked about ideas of potentially doing stuff with the Wolverine. One that I can think of that we've talked about since 2017 or 18, which might be a future thing, is the Wolverine versus Bigfoot. We've talked about that for a really long time. So who knows? You might be seeing that in the future. But right now we're going to talk about the different things that we have done. 3 films that we have done with the Wolverine, that being the Wolverine versus Captain America, The Waiting Room, and the Wolverine, which doesn't feature this outfit. This outfit's only featured twice. Wolverine is Logan Wolverine, not the Wolverine. So we did the Wolverine versus Captain America in 2017, which in the future we'll react to that one. Might be the next episode of the show, not the next one, but the one after it, because we're gonna react to our westerns on the next one of those. Yep. And then we'll probably get to the Wolverine stuff. But in the Wolverine versus Captain America, it was originally going to be a 3-way versus with Luke Cage, but that did not happen because of certain individuals. So it became Wolverine and Captain America, where the Wolverine kills Captain America, which is shocking. And that was the last time we decided to kill anybody.
Yep. Really,
in a versus, like, really definitively, besides the big versus video, which was meant for people to die because, because it's a 4-way, somebody's gonna lose. But it was the last time we did a 1-on-1 where somebody died, and I know afterwards we talked about, it was really the one before that where we decided to do, like, not picking a winner, like with the Jack Gilmore one, and then we did this one, and then that was the last time that we did it. We quit doing that because then we would have to pick every time. But we did that film, and that was the first film for Captain America and the first film for the Wolverine. Captain America was in a trailer before, but this was the first appearance for the Wolverine. And that was a very interesting one. That was where we had a water bottle as a bomb. Yeah, we did. That was fun. That was also when the Wolverine's shirt randomly burned off. Yeah, that was back in those days. Yeah, it's crazy because that was 8 years ago, and it doesn't really feel like it, but it was 8 years ago. And initially I was supposed to wear a mask, but the mask hurt so bad I couldn't wear it for the video, so I just decided not to wear one. That was kind of the start of it, and then we did the Wolverine. Or no, we did the Waiting Room after that, which was just a skit, basically, and it was pretty dumb, really. I was actually supposed to be in the behind the scenes, but I forgot to put it in the behind the scenes. Or actually, no, I did put it in the behind the scenes. It was just a big black screen, and it didn't render for some reason. So I had to upload it separately as its own video. Yep. So it's on there, where I play like a dozen people, and Dawson just sits there while we make stuff up as we go.
Pretty much.
But the big one that we did, which took the most effort to do, was The Wolverine, which we did in February of 2018. And that was when we almost got arrested. That was a fun time. But that film was fun. I think it would have been a lot different if we had your character in the actual Wolverine suit.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot different. At the time, that was one of the biggest films we did because we had 5 people at one time in a film, which was unheard of for us because nowadays that doesn't happen at all. I don't think that's happened since we were in high school. where Dawson played Logan, and I played Stryker, and Julian was a main part in it, and then Alex and Josh were kind of extra characters.
Yep.
But that one was crazy. That one took about a week to film, and at the time that was the longest it took us to film something, because it took us about a week to do VHS, which that's another video to talk about, and that whole experience. Because there's a whole experience behind that one. But yeah, like it was one of the films where it took us not 2 days to do in that list of videos. But yeah, we had a lot more locations for that one, a lot more props than I think anything that we've ever done before, like making a concoction of tea and juices and stuff to make Jack Daniels, which was interesting.
Yep.
We filmed in a Dollar General for the first and only time.
Yep.
We filmed in a that was, I'm thinking of the vampire one. That was a gas station, but but we filmed everywhere, it felt like, which was one of the first times that we actually did. And I think it was one of the only times where we had scenes that were in one specific location, each scene, for a lot of it. So it was quite an interesting filming process. And hilariously enough, during the filming of that, we came up with yin and yang, which is even more funnier. In filming that, we came up with that only because Josh was playing Overwatch and Dawson liked the characters Hanzo and Genji, and Dawson wrote an entire script that night, yin and yang, and then we filmed it the next week or two later. So that's a whole another video in itself. I think it's funny we were gonna do a Soldier 76 film and we never did it. I mean, that'd be cool if we did, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of the stuff that we make. But yeah, we spent an entire winter break in high school filming that. Almost got arrested, which was fun. We ended up having to move to another parking lot because of it. And Dawson killed a lot of people in that film. I don't even know how many, but I'd have to go back and count, because you killed a bunch of soldiers, and then you killed all the gangsters. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of trial and error also, because we had never really done a big of a film like that ever. So other than VHS at the time, which at the time that was the biggest one we did, because we actually had it in competitions and stuff. But but do you remember at all of writing the Wolverine? At all? Because Dawson wrote the Wolverine. I remember we made an announcement video talking about.
I remember changing the script a couple of times.
Yeah. Was it initially supposed to be a girl and not Billy? Yeah, so originally, and we'll probably talk about it again if we react about it, Julian's character was supposed to be a girl, and I think it was supposed to be played by Maddie.
I think so.
And she couldn't make it, so we had to we literally just kept the last name, changed it to a guy, and that was it. So that's the only change that I can think of, was that one.
There's that. I think that was the only change that we did, but I don't really remember. I remember figuring out what to do with it, and I remember. I do remember all of us going to Walmart and picking out the bandanas and stuff for the gang members.
I think I still have mine at my house.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was, and we had a whole overnight before, but overnight before the next day to film that, I remember me and Dawson came up with a name and an entire backstory to these dudes, only for them to get killed off, except for me and Alex. But yeah, yeah, the Wolf Pack. They had tattoos and everything on them, and it was
It's-
a little excessive for them to be in a one scene and that was it. But we were just having fun with it. So that was an interesting week to say the least. And we had a whole entire sleepover and everything, and that was wild.
That was also when we did the
Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare
Yeah,
thing.
that's on my channel if you want to go watch that. That's a wonderful video.
We made Josh back out of a game.
Yeah.
That was like a ranked match or something.
And he
like
literally could have busted. If you watch that video back, he literally could have busted his head because he lands so close to the table or the cabinet that he could have actually banged his head on the thing. And we could have had to been going to the hospital. After I just realizing it now.
There's so many different things. There's that. So many different things.
It was not that great character wise. I feel like if we did it now, we would have to chop off like a ton of people because I played soldiers, which you could tell it was me because you could see my face, and I played a reverend guy with a wig on, which did not hide the fact that it was me. Josh played a character that's at the beginning of the film, and then he shows up as a soldier later dying, and it doesn't help. And then Julian plays multiple people, and Alex plays multiple people, and we just had way too many characters to fill with people that it was just kind of unnecessary to even do the film the way that we did it.
Yeah.
But we did it anyways, and it was really funny. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward film, really. Sometimes I feel like it's two different films because the first part of it feels like an entire film in itself with you and Scott, and then the second film starts when you show up and kill everybody, and then it ends when you tell them to get out of your truck. Which
You saying Scott reminded me of it too. Is you actually played it. You kind of played another character in the newspaper ad. You were Cyclops Scott.
yeah, I did. Yeah, the picture that they showed. Yeah, that was funny. I remember that. We took pictures the night before we started filming where I played Cyclops. The only time I ever played Cyclops, but yeah, we were a little bit excessive. If you go back in a lot of the films we've done, we were very excessive with like playing a bunch of characters, but it's because we didn't. I mean, we still don't have anybody, but we don't do that as much as we used to. We try not to do it as much as we used to. That's why we do stuff like like Deception.
We like Deception. Deception's good.
And stuff like the Blue Lantern thing, because that doesn't have a lot of people in it.
Yep.
You gotta make it work with what you got, because a lot of the stuff, if you're in our situation, you don't have a lot of stuff. I mean, well, that's kind of stupid, and I look behind us and there's a lot of stuff, but to work with. It is what it is. But we might react to that film in the future. That'll be a very funny one to watch. I haven't watched it in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, speaking of Wolverine, I have not really ever seen X-Men movies, and I've never seen the Wolverine stuff except for Deadpool and Wolverine, which was hilarious. And I've seen Logan, which is by far my favorite X-Men thing ever, even though that was at the time the only X-Men thing I ever watched. And probably any of the other ones won't beat that one, in my opinion. But yeah, so that was the Wolverine. Dawson got to show the costume off, and you may get to see that in the future here on the channel, and we'll explain why in just a few moments, because in a few moments we're going to be going into the wheel room as usual. Y'all know how this works. We're going to go into the wheel room and we're going to spin that wheel to find out what next week's episode is going to be here on the channel, because you never know what's going to happen. We might be doing the back rooms, and then you come to this video and it's the Wolverine, and then the next video it might be us sitting down playing tabletop warfare. You never know.
You never know.
It's very random, and that makes it unexpected for me and Dawson and for the viewer.
Yep.
So right now, we're going to go to the wheel room, and we're going to figure out what is going to be next week's video here on the channel. So here we go. And we're here in the wheel room. We're here, our favorite place ever at the end of every video. So we're going to go through, as we always do, of each option, because you at home cannot see this because it's really far away. But we're going to go through each and every option that's on this wheel that could potentially be next week's video.
Yep.
So first, we have got the weather news happens on our show, which the last episode we did of that was Tybee Island. But if it does pick that, we will be reacting to our westerns and talking about them. The next option is Bored to Death, where we're going to be playing. Dawson will get to pick the next board game that we get to play for a chance to win the Bored to Death title.
Oh.
Yeah. We've also got real reactions where we're going to be reacting to the Mortal Kombat movie, which actually was going to be us watching Kuga, but Dawson came up with the idea to watch Mortal Kombat. So if that gets picked, we're going to react to the original Mortal Kombat movie. We've got the start of Season 2 of Tabletop Warfare. Dawson won Tabletop Warfare Season 1. Will he win Season 2? We'll find out. If it gets picked, we're going to start Season 2 of Tabletop Warfare, and that'll run probably 4 or 5 episodes like the last season. But
And then
the new one. This is the new series that we have come up with. We actually came up with it at the end, after the camera turned off, at the end of the gaming one that we did last 2 weeks ago. It is called 48 Hour Flicks, and it is going to be a film series. Now, it was funny because we realized that there's 10 spots on this board, and we only had 7 series, so there was not a way to fit every single one on, not unless we came up with 2 other more series, but I don't think we can. And we were thinking of, to make it even, to have 8, so we would have 5 shows on here at each given point, and they'll be on there twice, so they have a 50-50 chance of getting picked.
Yep.
So what's not on here is Journey of Heroes, because we did that several weeks ago. And Press Start and Behind the Scenes is not on here either, because we obviously just did that one, and we did Press Start as well.
Yep.
So, but with 48 Hour Flicks, it's literally in the title, we are going to attempt to make a film in 48 hours. Because if you go back and watch all of our stuff, most of the stuff that we made is made in 48 hours. Not on purpose. It's just how me and Dawson have done things. And not every time, the films will be made in 48 hours. So they might be done in 24 hours. They might be done in half a week or a week. You never know. We'll see how the series goes, but this gives us a reason to start doing films again as often as we used to do them, because it's harder and harder now to do a lot of them.
Yep.
So 48 Hour Flicks is the new and final series that we're going to be coming up with until we decide to drop one of these, if we decide to drop one of these, and come up with another one. That's going to be the maximum, is 8. So, who knows? One day, maybe one of these will be gone, and y'all be like, where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
We got rid of it. That's why. So Dawson spun the wheel last time,
I did.
and it chose Behind the Scenes, and this week, it's going to be me.
Yep.
So, let's find out what will be the next video on the channel. All right. So we're going to be doing another episode of Real Reactions, where me and Dawson are going to be sitting down and watching the original Mortal Kombat movie, which I honestly didn't expect that one to get picked. I thought it was going to be something we had no plan for.
Yep.
But you never know. That's gonna be it. Real Reactions. If you haven't watched the last episode of that, go check it out. We reacted to some Kuga. But we're gonna be doing episode 3 of Real Reactions. It'll be a lot of fun. We're gonna take this off the wheel, and Journey of Heroes will get thrown back on here for next week's spin of the wheel, and Dawson will get to spin it next time. So look out for another episode of Real Reactions next week. If you enjoyed this video and seeing the Wolverine costume in future episodes, we should have more costumes to show off. I know the premiere episode in this one has been only one because of weather issues. It's been raining every day that we've tried, well, except for Red Sentinel. But last week when we tried to do stuff with multiple suits, it rained, and we weren't able to, we only could do the Wolverine. So, trust us, we're going to have more suits, not just one. We'll have more than one in the next episode, hopefully. We'll see. The weather's nice to us. If not, we do have indoors, and we'll figure that out as we go along. But if y'all like the video, leave a like down below. Comment what costume you want Dawson to make next. What characters that you'd like to see next. Or what characters that you'd like for us to talk about. We have a lot of original characters and a lot of different ideas that we have talked about in the past, like the Patriot and the White Wolf, which if you want to go check those out, those are pretty cool. But the most important thing you can do right now is to subscribe to the WNHON channel. We just hit 800 subscribers not too long ago, and now we're on the road to 900, which is going to be a long one, but stick around. We got a lot more cool stuff. Like we said, Mortal Kombat coming to you again, not in game form, but in movie form this time. And so we're going to take a look at that, and that should be a lot of fun. So, my name is Ray Sparks.
My name is Dawson Mullins.
See you guys in the next episode of Behind the Scenes. Bye-bye.
Bye.